Hey guys, how are you all going? I hope you guys are all good. I just wanted to do a quick video and I just want to review a couple of the quarterfinals. Um, but mostly I want to preview the semifinals at Indian Wells. So let's have a look at a couple of the matches today. First, we'll look at the first two. Dimitrov beat Hurkacz. That was pretty good. It just came down to Dimitrov was better in the tiebreak. Norrie way too good for Schwartzman. I mean, just a beating there. And then for today's match, these ones I'll sorry about that, guys. These ones I will get more in depth about it. But first, I want to talk about Bashashvili and Tsitsipas. Bashashvili has beat Tsitsipas 6-4, 2-6, 6-4. So let's first talk about that particular match. So I just felt like this match, it was just the story of Bashashvili, okay, was hot and cold, but more probably average, right? Tsitsipas was also hot and cold too, but more cold, right? And in the first set, what we saw is Tsitsipas being the one having a bad game and having more errors. So that really determined it in Bashashvili. They just kept holding serve. So Tsitsipas gets the job. Bashashvili gets the job done because that very bad service game to start from Tsitsipas. Second set, Bashashvili's turn to pour on the errors. Two really terrible service games, like a whole bunch of errors, a couple of maybe two or three good shots sort of in the two breaks, but mostly Bashashvili errors. Then back into the third set. Now it's Tsitsipas the one hitting the errors. All this match came down to is the fact that Tsitsipas had two very bad sets with errors. Bashashvili had one. Even when they were at their best, these players were average, but two particularly bad sets for Tsitsipas and one from Bashashvili, so 2-1 to Tsitsipas. So the other one featured Fritz and Zverev. Fritz has won this 4-6, 6-3, 7-6. What I would say about this match is it's just I would just say like the first set, it was actually more determined by Fritz, was a bit on and off, but more on. Zverev playing that quite good, consistent level, right? I would definitely say that. But the first set, that good, consistent level for Zverev was there, and Fritz had a very poor game where he just threw in a whole bunch of errors, got broken, then the serve dictated, serving it out, Zverev, some good serves, some errors for Fritz. So it's a set for Zverev, right? Then midway through the second set, Fritz just has an amazing game where he just gets hot and just hammers four winners right there. Very good effort. And then in serving it out, Zverev really steps it up, but Fritz steps it up further, and they're both exchanging winners. But again, for the firepower, Fritz just out hits him with winners while serving it out, like he did in that game in the middle of set when he broke. So same story, four winners to break for Fritz, and then another four to serve it out. The serving it out game, though, Zverev's really fighting hard, but Fritz just hit too many winners and serves. So then we get to one set all. Zverev has a chance to serve out the match. He breaks, but then nervous game to try to serve it out. they're at juice, I believe, and it was a poor error for Zverev. If he wins this point, it's a match point for him on serve, but he doesn't. He hits the error, hits an easy ball out. Then it's a break point for Fritz. Then Zverev misses his first serve again. Poor, short, slow second serve. More in fear of a double fault there for Zverev, right? And then Fritz just goes for the slow, short second serve, hammers it near the back line, gets the break. But again, the juice point, an easy error for Zverev, and then the break point. Fritz does hit a good second serve return, but a very slow second serve, very nervy, worried about a double fault, so slow, so short. So when you consider the juice point was just outright a Zverev error, and the second serve, yes, the winner from Fritz, but very short, slow second serve. Punish got what it deserved. So then we're back on serve. Sort of at the end of the set, 6-5 to Zverev, Fritz serving. He just really just had a game, just blew him away with winners. Got to 6-all. We start the tie break. A double fault again, the nerves for Zverev. But then from then, the remaining 6 points for Fritz to win it, 7 points to 3, another 6 winners. Again, just blow him off the court after the first double fault, gets the easy freebie, but then 6 amazing winners to get to 7 points to win the tiebreaker, 7 points to 3, and the match. And it just came down to really Fritz being cold in the first set, but really hot for the second and third, while Zverev playing one level all the way through. Fritz's second and third set level of intense high level was better than Zverev's consistent good level, but when Fritz was off, Zverev's consistent level was better than his in that first set. When Fritz was off, that level that Zverev has good consistent was better, but then when the second and third, when Fritz is absolutely on fire, that good consistent level from Zverev isn't enough. But then there was the issue serving out that one bad game that if he just got right, he could have won the match, but didn't. So Fritz is your champion. You're not your champion. You're a winner of the quarterfinals. So now let's go through and get into the semi-finals. What's going to happen, right? The first semi-final will feature Grigor Dimitrov versus Cameron Norrie, right? So what I would say about this match is, I mean, Dimitrov, he's beat Hubert Hurkacz, who is around a top 10 player, I believe. Definitely a top 15, probably a top 10. I know he's somewhere between 8 and 15 in the world. And then to just beat him in the tiebreak and step it up in the big moment and play a great level there. But then to beat the number 2 in the world, Medvedev, fresh off winning a Grand Slam. So now I guess let's just assume he's in the top 10. I think he is. But Dimitriev's beat 2 top 10 players in the world. First Medvedev, then Hurkacz, Hubert Hurkacz. He's beat both of them. So why would he be able to beat Medvedev and Hubert Hurkacz, but not Cameron Norrie? I don't see it. Anyway, what I was saying was Norrie, I mean, yes, he destroyed Schwartzman. But I just think that he's just going to be overpowered. I mean, if he overpowered Medvedev, Dimitrov, who's just trying to rally and play consistent and run down and play defense, if he's going to be able to overpower Medvedev, not let him get in rallies, take time away, and do that effectively, and even overpower Hurkacz, I think Norrie trying to rally baseline defense, all that, he'll just get overpowered. The time will be taken away. He won't get rhythm. He won't get rallies. And if Dimitrov plays as he is, right, he's just a lesser version of Medvedev, Norrie. So if he shows the same kind of thing as he did against Medvedev, Then Norrie is just a defensive, consistent player like Medvedev, but doesn't have the serve. And but it's got the consistency in defense. But Medvedev's a level at even better doing that. Plus, Medvedev has the serve, so it's a lesser version of Medvedev. So if he throws the same type of thing that beats Medvedev, he's got someone who is not quite as fast and great defense and powerful in the rallies and doesn't have the serve as Medvedev. So it'll work out even better. And Norrie's even way more easy to boss around than Medvedev is, mostly because Medvedev also has a big serve as well as his rally game, much better than what Norrie has. And I just see Norrie bossed around, dominated, and then time taken away, no rhythm, can't get in rallies, and Dimitriev's just attacking, taking time away, coming in, finishing at the net. He's got a better serve than Norrie. He's got more power to end the point and get through the slow court. He's got a volley to finish it off. And then, like I said, Norrie's got that consistent defense rally game, but it's not quite as good as Medvedev. And then Medvedev had a big serve to get some at least 3 points or start the point ahead. Norrie doesn't have that, so Norrie in all those games will have to battle getting nothing out of his serve, not starting the point ahead much. He won't have that, and then not 3 points. So then it's going to be much more harder. The battle is harder. There'll be more chance to attack second serves and start the point ahead without Norrie having that great serve. And then, like I said, even outside the serve, he's just a lesser version of Medvedev. So if he plays the same game as he did against Medvedev, it'll be easier because he'll be able to dominate and control and take time away and shorten the points and stop his opponent who's a rallier, because this opponent will have a serve that's not as good as Medvedev. And then even in the rally game, to be able to counter Dimitrov, I don't believe just the rally game, Norrie is even as good as Medvedev too. So it just needs to repeat that. And then, like I said, it'll be much easier than the Medvedev match because Norrie won't have a serve. It'll be much more easy to use your serve to start the point ahead, attack Norrie's serve and start the point ahead. At least Medvedev had some serves to get out of trouble. Norrie won't have that. He'll have to fight for every point, even on his serve. So just knowing that he's playing against another rallier without a serve, so it's much more easier to sort of start the points ahead both on your serve and the opponent's serve, which he didn't have against Medvedev, so it'll be easier. And then, like I said, even the rally game, Norrie's not as good as Medvedev anyway, so a better chance to shorten the point, attack, and just take rhythm away and not allow Norrie into a rally. I'm going to say it'll be straight sets, but Norrie's playing decent, so it'll be two close sets, like a 7-5, 6-4, something like that, in favor of Dimitrov. After beating Medvedev, her catch, now he comes through in straight sets against Norrie. Straight sets, but two close sets. So the other one is going to feature Fritz and Bashashvili. I mean, when I'm looking at this one, what I would suggest is that, like, the match that Bashashvili won, like, he was just hot and cold, and Tsitsipas was hot and cold. Tsitsipas was just more cold than him, so he got away with it, right? Whereas Fritz had to legitimately beat Zverev on a good day and just blow him off the court of winners, right? So I don't watch these two particular players much, but I did see their last round. And when I saw Zverev playing at quite a good level and just blown away and overpowered and hit off the court by just an amazing display of power and winners. But then when I see his opponent is not playing like that level, is just very hot and cold. And then only winning his previous round because his opponent was more cold than he was. Based on that, I mean, if he could beat Zverev and just overpower him and blow him off the court with winners, at a good level of Zverev. A guy who's just hot and cold and needs someone else to be more cold than him. No way. So I'm just saying that Fritz is going to win. And even though Fritz was also hot and cold because he had a bad first set, but like two amazing levels of sets, whereas only all three sets for Bashashvili were hot and cold, whereas two amazing sets for Fritz. And I just say, like, if Bashashvili is going to be hot and cold again, he's going to need his opponent to be hot and cold, but he's going to get someone who not only can beat someone that's hot and cold, but can beat Zverev at quite a very good level, which Bashashvili is nowhere near. So I'm just going to say, based on that, Fritz is going to win it, but I think they're young, their nerves, they've never really been in this spotlight. Fritz could beat him in straight sets, but the nerves of his first Masters of 1000 semi-final in his home country, in his home state, it is going to be a bit much for him. So that'll cause him to lose a set, but not the match, because like I said, even when he's going to have a few weak moments, Bashashvili will also have that, and Bashashvili will have more of those bad moments. And like I said, Fritz is just at a better level right now. He's at a really good level, whereas Bashashvili is hot and cold and needs the other guy to be more cold. But Fritz will say, if you're hot and cold and you need your opponent to be more cold than hot, I'm going to also be hot and cold, but more hot than cold. So when you got two hot and cold players, one half hot, half cold, Bashashvili, the other hot and cold, but more hot and less cold, like hot 70 or 80% of the time and cold 20% of the time, I believe Fritz will bring that to the table. But then Bashashvili hot and cold 50-50 and needing the other guy to be more cold than hot. But Fritz is more hot than cold. So I believe that will get it done. And even if he has some nervous moments, it'll cost him one set, but not the match, because Bashashvili will also give him those moments. But like I said, Bashashvili will be hot and cold, but Fritz will be hot and cold, but more on the hot side, which I believe makes him lose a set with the nerves and stuff. But overall, with both players being hot and cold, the actual winner of this match is the guy that's going to be playing well for more a period of time, which will be Fritz in 3 sets. But it's just going to come down to two hot and cold players. Who is more hot than cold? Right now, Bashashvili is at 50-50 in and out, whereas Fritz is at 70 to 80% hot and 20%, 30% cold. So therefore, with two hot and cold players, you get a close match. But the guy that's more hot than cold, being Fritz, gets this win. And I'm going to say 2-1. And when he's a bit off because of the nerves, he gets away with it because Bashashvili is also like that. And they're both giving it back to each other. But in the end, what this whole thing comes down to is if they're both going back and forth between hot and cold, there has to be one winner. So whoever's playing better for more time will win. And I believe Fritz will be hot and cold, but hot more than 50% of the time, whereas Bashashvili will be 50-50 or more cold more of the time. So that means they're both going to be giving things to each other, but the guy that's playing well for longer will overall get over the line and get this one. And like I said, I believe Fritz will be hot 70 or 80% of the time, being hot and cold, whereas Bashashvili 50-50. So I'm giving it to Fritz 2-1 in 3 sets. And then we'll have Fritz in the final against Dimitrov. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's going to be a Fritz Dimitrov Indian Wells final. And I'm going to be back tomorrow to preview that. Fritz versus Dimitrov will meet in the Indian Wells final. And after the semi-finals, around this time tomorrow, I'm going to be back to review these semi-finals and preview that Indian Wells final. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world. And please subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up Do all three. Don't forget, guys, I really need your subscription. And you're going to love this channel. I've got interviews with Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and all this coming up. But tomorrow I'll be previewing the Indian Wells final, reviewing these semi-finals. So subscribe, guys. Bye for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye, guys. Thanks for being with me. Subscribe.